People ask me, why do you spend so much time at the range? Why do you make the time? It's my day off today. I could be at Disneyland. I could be at the beach. I could be at the pool today. I'm here today because I'm awake to what is happening. If you haven't noticed or been watching the news, we have one of the biggest banks in the entire world holding massive assets, massive derivatives, and they're in massive trouble. So we're also seeing violence starting to erupt in our urban cities again. And this is why I'm not at Disneyland today. This is why I'm not at the pool. This is why I'm not going to the beach. This is why I'm sacrificing my time, my energy, money to buy ammo. This is why you need to be out here. If you're not paying attention to the trends that are taking place right now, you are drinking the Kool-Aid. It's time to wake up. What's going on, everybody? We just got done training at the range. Beautiful day out here in the desert of Southern California. 98 beautiful degrees. So we just got a 3-hour session in with my buddy Sid here. And markets just closed. Dow Jones down 115 points. Gold is at about 1493. Silver at 1498. So gold under 14, silver under 15, it's a steal. And everything that we've been talking about with Deutsche Bank literally could be the epicenter of the global economic collapse. It certainly could be what triggers it. But we have multiple banks here in the US, around the world, in big trouble. And there is no excuse not to be preparing, not to protect yourself physically, training out here at the range, because security, in my opinion, is the number one asset next to God. But while Sid is here, let's talk a little bit about security and how quick something can happen. Sid, talk about many years ago, after the verdict of the LA riots.
Yes,
Rodney King.
I remember being a teenager at high school, and we took a trip to Magic Mountain, and they announced the verdict of the Rodney King
beating.
The excessive force trial. They announced the not guilty verdict, and these people, they started looting Magic Mountain.
Right at Magic Mountain where you were at.
Oh yeah, right where I was at. You see thousands of people just running everywhere. It was chaos. Lots of looting, lots of fights, lots of crazy events going on.
So as many of you've probably seen, and many of you may be too young, some of you maybe not even born, but I lived out here at that time. I was actually in Chicago when the riots actually started, but as most of you probably know, you saw people getting pulled out of their cars, literally just based on the color of their skin, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So here you are at an amusement park, and a riot literally starts out in the amusement park. So what we're basically saying is, you don't know when something is going to happen. You don't know when something that happens miles away, hundreds or even thousands of miles away, affects your environment. There were outbursts throughout the country. So even if you didn't live in Los Angeles or California, there was violence happening in other parts of America. So with everything, we're starting to see these flare-ups in many of our urban cities, coming closer to the election. I think that without a doubt, one of the number one things you can be doing is making yourself an asset, making yourself hard to kill. And the way you do that is you come out to a range like this, you get yourself a professional instructor, and you start training. And this is going to help you get in better physical shape. Also, that is so important right now. Sid, you've been training like religiously now for 6 weeks. How are you feeling? What do you?
Feeling a lot better, more confident.
By the way, let me interject. We can't put those videos on YouTube any longer because they will be taken down. Anything at the range here. So you can Facebook me at Jeremiah Babe, and we will put up some training videos there. Nothing crazy, nothing special, just what we're doing, just getting a workout in, getting some trigger time on, and just getting ready the best that we can. Sitting on the couch at home with the vape pen or a big bag of Doritos is not going to get you ready for violence or for the fight. And certainly we hope that that's avoided. And we have to be very careful what we're saying here, though. But I think that just to be an independent human being financially and physically being able to protect yourself, not relying on the police, not relying on a bank to get your money, make sure you are reliant on yourself, Sid.
Yes, you got to be self-reliant. You have to make sure your preparations are in order.
Sid is one of my best friends here. We've known one another for years. Sid is the example of the average working man, not a millionaire. But you don't make any excuses. You go out and you buy silver, you buy security, you're out here training. What words of advice do you give the average Joe out there? And how many people making excuses? I don't have any money. I can't go buy a weapon. I can't buy an ounce of silver when it's under $15 an ounce. Words of advice. You're doing it.
There's no excuse. Cut back on Starbucks. Cut back on going to the movies. Cut back on...
You've cut Starbucks out.
Oh, definitely. I go to McDonald's now.
Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper and a lot better tasting, by the way.
Right. But you're working sometimes 6 days a week.
Yeah, sometimes 6 days a week.
That extra day pays for training.
Yeah, it pays for an extra box of security.
Extra box. We got to be very careful what we say. So you know what we mean. Extra box of security, an extra weapon, a little extra training. So it's so important that people stop making excuses. Cut out the Starbucks, cut out the lattes, cut out the Dunkin' Donuts. There's nothing wrong treating yourself. I get it. I do it. But I could be somewhere else today. I'd rather be down over at the casino, floating in the pool today, having lunch.
Down the lazy river.
Down the lazy river. But when I see what's happening here in the United States of America, that would be the biggest waste of my time and money. I believe in making myself hard to kill. I believe in making myself the number one asset. I want to be my own central bank. I'm my own police. I may not have the opportunity to pick up the phone and call 911. And even when you do, you don't know when they're going to get there. Or even, and this is no knock on law enforcement, so much law enforcement now is so untrained and not prepared for the battle. So, this is why you cannot depend on anybody but yourself, Sid.
Yes, that's correct. And all you can do is add value to yourself by coming out to the range and
that's a lot of value.
Spending time out here, getting quality time, and that's all you can really do. And
take advantage of the time.
Yeah, protect yourself with coins and metals, precious metals,
and security.
Exactly.
Because if you can't protect those coins, somebody is going to take them. If you can't protect your wife or children, somebody may do something very, very bad to them. And you would hate to live with that the rest of your life, to watch one of your loved ones raped right in front of you. But we know this as a fact when bad situations happen, people from other parts of the world where they've seen economies collapse, where they've seen governments collapse, see people being murdered, they see the chaos, they see the epidemic of people being raped and assaulted, lit on fire. You don't ever want to live with that. And I believe that if something's going to happen, I'm at least going to go down fighting. I'm not one of these people that says it is what it is, or I'm going to leave it in God's hands. We should be praying on a daily basis, but God gave you a brain. God gave you free will. God gave you the opportunity to protect yourself and your family. And if you're not doing that, I think you're making a very, very big mistake. There are and there have been many Christians throughout history who believed in God and walked close to God. They were persecuted, they were tortured, they're being lit on fire, they're having their heads chopped off. 6 million Jews were put into ovens that believed in God. So you can believe in God all you want, but God gave you a brain. God is waking you up right now and He's telling you to make sure you are protecting yourself physically and financially. Sid.
Exactly. And the only thing you can do is pray and hope that we have better days.
This is a good day, right?
It is a perfect day to come out.
Quick point. We got a good day. No implosions. the markets just, fell a little bit today, no big deal. So it's another day of opportunity to do something, to get in better shape, to wake up, to run these weapons, make sure they're working properly, to buy a little food, put some water away. This is an opportunity today, and we took advantage of it.
Exactly. And, with the open border situation, we hear these stories of people crossing with luggage into this country. And, it's sad to see that, people don't want to see a wall built. People don't want that security down there. And that's ignorance, because we don't know what these people are bringing over in those suitcases. And they're laughing at us as they're crossing over, with suitcases and suits and who knows what else.
And then getting all the government subsidy, we're putting them in housing. They're getting food, water, educations, legal advice. And you and I, we're out all the time, and we see people all over here in Riverside County on sidewalks.
Oh yeah.
Tell them about what was happening in India. It's 15 minutes from where we're at right now. The tent city that was near your house.
Yeah, there was a tent city on the Indian reservation, but they shut it down. The natives.
How many people?
Hundreds.
Where did they go?
Who knows where they went now? They're scattered out all over the place. But it's sad to see, that the economy is not up to what people really say.
What do you see with the economy? I mean, you're working 5-6 days a week in the security business. You're in different sectors. What do you see? And what do you see going on? What's your input? People listen to me every day.
I have a good feeling that things aren't good. That retail is on an onslaught right now.
And you have retail accounts.
That's firm. And
we won't say for who or what, but talk about retail. What you're seeing.
It's
you
a big
work in retail.
Big slowdown.
Yeah.
It's not the way it was before. Before it was busy. Now it's gotten a lot slower.
How long has it been slow?
It's been slow for, I would say, about a year or two now.
Wow.
That slowed down a lot. So
I've never seen so many vacant retail buildings out here in season, and I'm going to be scared to death to see what I'm going to see this summer. The retailers that didn't make it over this last season, because we didn't have great weather. We didn't have a great economy, and I know that the hospitality industry here didn't do so well. Hotels and bars and restaurants were down, and
that's supposed to be the busiest sector,
right.
And it's also
and it means so much for us out here.
Yeah.
It means so much for our economy out here. Yeah. People are out here golfing, going to bars, going to restaurants, and hotels.
You just came from an area where you saw a T-shirt going for $500.
Yeah, when you're in Orange County, especially South Orange County, the land of milk and honey, everything seems fine. But that's the thing, the 0.001% are going to capitalize on this wealth transfer coming, ladies and gentlemen, and you should too. If you're doing what the central banks are doing, stockpiling hard assets like gold and silver, putting cash away, being conservative right now, and being awake to what's happening, you're going to be able to capitalize and survive this event. But as we all know, going through 2008, it was the biggest wealth transfer that we have ever seen here in the world. The next one is going to make that look like a kindergarten. And so if you're not protecting yourself, get ready to lose whatever standard of living you have left. It's going to get much worse for you. Now, if you protect yourself, I believe that your standard of living is going to improve, because you're going to have money. And get that debt paid off. If you don't have debt and you have money and you have assets, I believe you're going to thrive when this thing crashes, just like the wealthy are going to thrive. They're going to buy stuff because it's going to be on a blue light special. And people with debt, drowned. People with money and assets are going to survive, and they're going to prosper, and they're going to be even richer than they were before. And don't think that these big banks, financial institutions, and central banks don't know what's coming. They're preparing right now. I mean, we have Deutsche Bank getting out of the markets right now. You have Morgan Stanley telling you should be getting out of the markets right now. Things are changing, and they're changing quickly, and I truly believe that one day we're going to wake up in the morning and go, oh my gosh, what is going to happen now? And remember, you people out there with pensions, money markets, invested in these financial institutions, having all your money in banks and safety deposit boxes, you're going to be in big trouble because you've put your trust into these institutions that are going to steal it from everybody. Sid?
I agree 100%. If it crashes, it's all going to come down.
It's all coming down. And even wealthy people are going to lose too, because the wealthy people who trusted these institutions or all their money's in paper in these markets, I think are, they're going to wake up one day and they're going to wake up poor. But the wealthy people, and I mean the wealthy people, the people who are very savvy and aware of what's going on. These people understand wealth. They understand hard assets. They understand not carrying a lot of debt. The same people that could come in and buy 100 houses after the last crash or apartment buildings, cash money. Or they could sell other assets and raise cash and come in and buy when everything was on sale. And I truly believe that these metals are going to explode because there's going to be no other option, no other choice, nothing to run to, except the two most undervalued assets right now that are being beaten down, that are being held down. They're just, they're like that ugly redheaded stepchild nobody wants to talk to. Nobody wants them. They are cheap right now, ladies and gentlemen, and people are going to laugh when this whole thing collapses, and they're going to laugh at how ridiculous the price of gold and silver is reaching. I don't have to tell anybody what China's doing, what India's doing, what Turkey's doing, what Russia's doing. Germany wants their gold back. We're not giving it back to them. Why is that? All this repatriation. Venezuela, look at everybody wants gold and everybody wants their gold back. Figure it out. So it's not this archaic, barbarous relic, okay? Every major country and central bank is hoarding it. And I truly believe that it's going to be one of the best, if not only ways to protect yourself financially.
That's correct.
You want to get into the stock market or real estate? Get into it after the crash. That's when you want to buy into the real estate market. That's when you want to buy into the stock market, when it all crashes down, when $100 stocks are $5 or $3.
The bubbles are going to burst.
When the bubbles burst, like Sid just said, when the bubbles are bursting, there's blood in the street, that's when you take that cash you put aside. That's when you take it and jump into these markets. When gold is, $10,000 an ounce or even more, when silver is $100 an ounce or $1,000, whatever it is, that's when you want to transfer it into other assets like real estate. That's when you may want to sell some of it off and get in and buy some stocks that are on sale. And I think I will always still be holding a certain amount of metals no matter what. But it's just things to think about. I'm going to leave it here, but I think if you're relying on your pension, if you're relying on your paper stocks or your paper investments to be protecting you when all hell breaks loose, if Deutsche Bank comes down, I can tell you right now, I'm not a financial planner, but paper is going to be worthless. It is going to get decimated. That's when I will go in and buy $100 stocks for $1, okay? Because then I'll gamble in the stock market when it's on sale. But if you think you're protected by holding paper, I guarantee you're going to be the person, just like in 2008, that woke up and was missing a bunch of numbers on their statement. Yesterday, you're a paper millionaire. Today, you're paper broke. Sid, you want to close it? What do you got?
You hit it on the nail, telling people to make sure they're buying up some assets.
It's never going to be worth zero. 5,000 years, folks. Never going to be worth zero.
Holding it, and
forget about it.
I mean, just having it in your hands, it's secure. If you don't hold it, you don't own it.
Any words of wisdom before we go and have lunch?
Just come out to the range, spend time in here and get better, get good. And that's about it.
All right. We're going to call it a day. Again, if you want to check out a little bit of our training, we can't put it on here. You can go to my Facebook page, Jeremiah Babe. We'll leave it there. Lots happening and so much to come. This is just the beginning. This is the good times, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to be getting ready in the bad times. You don't want to be training in the bad times. You don't want to be stocking food and water and munitions in the bad times because it won't exist. You don't want to be buying metals in the bad times. There'll be too much money and they'll be unattainable, just like other assets like food, water, munitions, things like that. This is the time to be doing it while the masses sleep, stay at home, watch their reality TV, suck on their vape pens, eat their bag of Doritos, have a box of Twinkies, and pretend to be a reality TV star. And let's not forget, everybody, still watching sports, even though we're looking at the ratings for baseball down, movie ratings down. So people are starting to wake up. People are starting to cut things out of their life. God bless them. And just realize where you are spending that money. What those entities like Hollywood might do with that money. You give your money to Starbucks. They're going to donate it to organizations that don't like what you believe in. So really think for a minute where your money is being spent when you go to a restaurant or a coffee house or to a movie or to a sporting event. Just think about where that money is going to go. I personally think you can use it for something more productive. The same people going to baseball games and football games have no silver, have no gold. Maybe you need to cut that out and start stacking some assets. Football, baseball, and basketball is not an asset.
That's right. If the grid goes down, are you ready? That's a question that is left to
what if
unanswered.
EBT goes down? Are you ready?
Exactly.
What if
SHTF happens? Do you have security? Are you ready?
What if the dollar goes down? Are you ready? What if the banks go down? Are you ready? There's a lot of what ifs. The biggest what if is, what if you are not ready?